is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.
You are watching In Your Interest here on News 9. I am Krishna Kumar, and tonight in our interest is the probe into the death of legendary, iconic Assamese singer Zubeen Garg. Now we delve into a case that has gripped Assam and beyond. The sudden death of Zubeen Garg, now called a murder by the state of Assam's Chief Minister himself. What began as a tragic drowning at a yacht party in Singapore has twisted into allegations of conspiracy, arrests, and a probe that claims to have uncovered layers of negligence and intent. It all began on the 19th of September when Zubeen Garg, the voice that echoed through countless Assamese hearts, lost his life while swimming at a yacht party in Singapore. By the next day, the 20th of September that is, Assam police had filed the first FIR based on reports from a Singapore hospital that listed drowning as the cause. On the 23rd of September, a second autopsy at the Guwahati Medical College and Hospital raised more questions, with viscera samples rushed to the Central Forensic Science Laboratory in Delhi for testing. And a day later, on the 24th, more than 54 FIRs poured in from grieving fans and locals. And the government banned the event organizer, Shamkanu Mahanta, from holding any more shows. By the 25th of September, the Crime Investigation Department stepped up, forming a 10-member SIT or Special Investigation Team to dig deeper. On the 1st of October, Singapore police shared their autopsy and preliminary findings with this SIT, stating clearly that they saw no signs of foul play. Yet, the very next day, arrests began. Mahanta, the organizer, and Siddharth Sharma, Zubeen's manager, were taken into custody. Toxicology results from GMCH on the 13th of October ruled out poisoning entirely, pinning the death once more on drowning. Fast forward to the 4th of November when two more were arrested. Shekhar Jyoti Goswami, Zubeen's bandmate, and singer Amrit Parva Mahanta, both now in custody. But it was today's assembly session that dropped the heaviest weight of all. Assam's Chief Minister himself, Himanta Biswa stood firm, declaring from day one that Zubeen's death was no accident. He said that the preliminary probe quickly showed that this was not mere culpable homicide but plain and simple murder.
Yet, ami Zubeenok loi dhemali koribo aha nai. Ami Zubeenok loi rajniti koribo aha nai. Zubeenok nyay pradhanor karone jodi Zubeenor bichar lage onugroho kori SIT তদন্ত নোহোৱালৈকে SITৰ বিপক্ষে কথা কৈ তেওঁলোকক ডিমৰালাইজ নকৰিব। যিদিনাখন তদন্ত ৰিপৰ্ট আহিব, চাৰ্জশিট আহিব, সিদিনাখন যদি কোনোবা উকিলে কয় দিছ ইজ এ উইক চাৰ্জশিট, বেলেগ কথা। কিন্তু আজিৰ দিনটো যেতিয়া আমি দেখাই নাই চাৰ্জশিটখন কি হ'ব, মোক এনেকে এটেক কৰিলে, মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰীয়ে কিয় হত্যা বুলি কৈছে, আৰে দিছ ইজ অন ৰেকৰ্ড। That this is a murder.
Now, the core of the Special Investigation Team or SIT's push for murder seems to be based on Zubeen's vulnerability. His epileptic condition was no secret to his manager, bandmate, or the team. multiple people greenlit his swimming that day, despite the doctor's clear warnings against it. No medical supervision was in place, no safety gear like life vests or monitors, nothing to guard against a seizure in the water. The SIT teams terms this as a joint criminal conspiracy. Enough, they argue, to warrant the full weight of Section 103, which is the murder charge. It needs to be noted here that the Government Medical College and Hospital, or GMCH, in Guwahati and the Central Forensic Science Laboratory's toxicology reports conclusively ruled out poisoning. Both Singapore and the Indian autopsies attribute death to drowning. The accusations, arrests and political statements heighten the emotional and legal intensity around this tragedy. The Chief Minister is himself on record saying on the 27th of September itself that the day I will fail to give justice to Zubeen, the public can punish me. If we cannot give justice to Zubeen, why would people vote for us in 2026? Referring to next year's assembly polls. Clearly, justice for Zubeen could be a key poll plank here. So the big questions that we are asking tonight: how will the Assam SIT team prove a murder charge in a courtroom? How will the pending charge sheet shape the truth and public perception moving forward? We have Sharda Prasad, former DGP Assam and former Director, National Crime Records Bureau, with us. We have a Preeti Priyadarshini, senior journalist from Assam. We have Professor Prosenjit Biswa, Professor, Northeastern Hill University. Momita Chakraborty, political analyst as well. Thank you all of you for taking time out to be with us over here. I'm going to begin by asking Sharda Prasad, the former DGP, based on the police and the special investigation team's case so far, how do you view the comments made by the Chief Minister today?
You see, first of all, let me pay my respects to late Shri Zubeen Garg, and he was in the heart of all the people in Assam and all in the Northeast. In fact, I have been listening to his music right from quite a decade. So that's one thing. Second is, you talked about the statement made by Honorable Chief Minister of Assam. You see, Chief Minister occupies a very, very responsible post, and what he says has to be given due weight. One thing more, you see, when CM says something, he has at his with him the information which may not be available on the public domain. So therefore, what he says with such a confidence, and I can say that he was speaking with confidence because I had occasion to work with him. Okay. And also because I can go through the nuances of the his speech which he delivered there. Okay. So we must believe him. And as far as the charge sheet is concerned, so far charge sheet has not been, you can see, laid there in the court. Yeah. So as and when it is laid in the court, it will become an open document. No, keeping a charge sheet. No, but the investigation so far, you've seen the autopsies, you've seen the reports from Singapore. You know, they've all ruled out poisoning. The only cause at this stage seems to be only drowning. But was that drowning intentional, planned, conspired? And in that sense, you see, nobody can say that he was poisoned and pushed because it was in an open area. At best, one can talk about criminal negligence. And to what extent criminal negligence can be extended to murder is a point of debate. Okay. Let us wait for the charge sheet to come. Okay. Then we'll find out whether this type of criminal negligence or a conspiracy for criminal negligence can be attributed to murder or not.
Fair enough. Let me take this across to Preeti Priyadarshini. Preeti Priyadarshini, you had over 50 FIRs being filed by fans and people of Assam. They want to know the truth, and right now the truth is fitting between two extremes over here. Was there poisoning? Was there no poisoning? Because the report said there was absolutely no poisoning. If there's no poisoning, how was there a conspiracy to kill Zubeen Garg here? And meanwhile, you have the Chief Minister himself standing on the floor of the Assembly claiming that this was murder.
Exactly, and this is not the first time that the Chief Minister has said that this is a murder. He has been time and again stating about this, that this case, the death of Zubeen Garg was not a natural death, but it's about a murder. And as you have stated about the FIRs, a lot of people have questioned about the death of Zubeen Garg, which first came to the people of Assam as an incident of paragliding, then parasailing, and a lot of things came out. And last it was scuba diving, and later it came out how he died after the bits and bits of videos that came out to the social media when people started questioning, and there came this question of if Zubeen Garg was murdered. Now it has been stated by the Chief Minister that this is a murder. And again, as the former DGP here in the panel has also stated that it is about criminal negligence. How far a criminal negligence can go to be claimed as a murder is another question. We will have to wait for the charge sheet to be filed. But again, here the question that still remains is about those people who were also present on the yacht party that day, the 13 people. Now the people of Assam are also questioning that the Chief Minister has stated about one person being very primarily involved into the murder. 3-4 more people were involved in helping that murderer to kill Zubeen Garg. So were those people just the people who are now in custody, or there were other people also involved in this entire murder case who were present in the yacht party that day? Is a very, very prime question that has been disturbing, which has been there in the minds of the people of Assam after time and again the Chief Minister has been claiming about Zubeen Garg's death as murder.
Professor Prashanjit Biswas, that is a fair point that Preeti Peshne is talking about. This is not the first time he's claimed, but we're talking about today because he's claiming that in the floor of the Gujarat, in the floor of the Assam assembly, this is a big deal. One is to say it out in the media and to cameras, and the other is to say it in the floor of the House.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, certain clarity can be seen today, but a lot of questions are still unanswered. Who is owning the copyright of Zubeen's music? Is it a kind of a mafioso that public perceives? And that mafioso took him to Singapore, and then there is a cheap political plotting of this kind of a death. But Zubeen remains indestructible. Zubeen remains inviolable. Zubeen remains ever memorable in the minds of the entire northeastern region, and especially the people of Assam can never forget him. Zubeen has occupied a permanent place in the hearts of millions of people, including the Gen Z, which cannot be erased by any amount of imagination. Therefore, it is high time that actual culprits are found out by impartial professional investigation. Investigation that will cover every angle. And every angle will include even people who are otherwise outside all suspicion.
So you believe that the investigation so far has not been done to the best of standards by the SIT?
Investigation has to answer those questions that are coming in the media, in the public domain, in terms of certain questions and counter questions that are raised on all that the investigation agencies are sort of saying, though not officially. So there's a kind of a huge meal of discussion that is going on about the background, about the situation in which all this has happened. And the entire situation is also driven towards pointing at certain people. So therefore, a lot of people are still under a certain cloud of suspicion, which is going on in public discourse. I respect the public discourse and the sentiment of the public. What actually has happened, an impartial professional probe, an autopsy report, and a report of the kind that forensic standards are met, etc., have to be seen by an impartial investigative agency which has no teethers connected to anybody powerful who may be interested in hiding or sidestepping the whole matter. That is the concern. Yeah.
Fair enough. Mohammed Chakraborty, you heard the Chief Minister of Assam today say the fact that this is now a political poll plank as far as the upcoming Assam 2026 elections are concerned. The probe into Zubeen Garg's death and the demand by the people of Assam for the truth to come out will be defining when it comes to the Chief Minister himself campaigning for the next election.
So, well, I will start with, first of all, you please let me put some points very clearly. Like tonight, I would start with some similar cases in Bollywood. If we peel back the glam facade of the Bollywood world to expose a shadow lane where crime, underworld muscles, and celebrity mix with alarming regularity. So, too many mysterious deaths, Krishna, in Bollywood happened when the Congress party was running in the country, I must say. And now I'm coming to your question, whatever you asked me right now. So, if you talk about this is for campaigning. And also, I must tell you one thing. Let me clarify this with logic, but not with emotion, of course. So, first of all, when a public figure dies, like Zubeen Garg, and previously many others, like Sushant Singh Rajput, then Divya Bharati, then Zia Khan, many more. So, under the unclear circumstances, a responsible government does not jump to conclusions overnight. All right. So, governance is not a newsroom theatrics; it's an evidence-driven process. So if someone asks, why did not the Assam government call it a murder on day one, or is it for campaigning? My answer is very simple. First of all, the governments do not announce conclusion. They announce the findings. And if the government had called it murder without proof, the same critic could have told or said, where is the evidence? Why are you sensationalizing the matter? Why are you trying to do it for campaigning and all? So on a very serious note, in a serious investigation, especially those involving international jurisdiction like Singapore, the forensic essays, the medical reports, the legal clearances, and all the other things, it really takes time. So the premature statements can definitely destroy a case. So in a criminal jurisprudence, the early public accusations can alert the suspects, then trigger the destruction of the evidence and influence the witness. And now if I talk about the politicizing the matter for the vote bank, then I don't think that the present chief minister need those sort of dirty politics to play just to win a vote. And lastly, I would like to tell you the political presence prove this approach is standard. Like Sushant Singh Rajput case, if I talk about, because I have worked with Sushant in the film called Byomkesh Bakshi. I might be a political analyst, but long back I have worked as an actor with Sushant. So I know him personally. I know that he cannot commit suicide. But suddenly it happened. Everybody created the narrative. He was frustrated. He did that. He did those things. So he just committed suicide. So that investigation took months before agencies publicly acknowledged the foul play. And if I talk about Sunanda Pushkar case, initial silence, then later homicide angle, because evidence took time. So we just cannot say that it is because of the politicization. I mean, the
Momita, I only asked you that question simply because you had Himanta Biswa Sarma who said that it's a duty to bring the truth out into this case. Exactly. Otherwise, why would people vote for us? Those were his words. So that is the reason why I asked, how much of a political issue is it in Assam, considering how close Zubeen Garg is to the people of Assam. Like, he's above all kinds of politics. He's above everything. His music cuts across all kinds of barriers within Assam and has been doing so for decades right now. And that is the reason why when the Chief Minister himself announces that on the floor of the House that it is a murder, and he's gone on record previously saying the fact that why would people vote for us if we don't bring the truth out, is the only reason why I asked how much of a political hot potato is this going to be in Assam. Let me take this back to Preeti Priyadarshini as well. Preeti Priyadarshini, this is a case that at the core of it all, there is nothing but sadness and grief. At the end of the day, we've all lost Zubeen Garg, one way or the other, whatever the findings of the case is. But then, the people of Assam deserve closure. The people of Assam need closure. The faster, the better. And that is the reason why any statement coming from it, especially from the high authority Chief Minister himself, becomes all the more important. This has a way of turning the emotions of the people of Assam.
Exactly, and as you have very rightly pointed that the Chief Minister himself has stated about this, that if we do not give justice to Zubeen Garg, why will the people of Assam vote to us? But when Zubeen Garg was alive, he has very, very distinctly has made his points clear that he was not very much into politics, and he hated such kind of politics where people's emotions are being used for turning it into votes. And now the 2026 elections are just ahead. We are just a few months away from the elections. Everything that happens in the state definitely has to come for votes. And that is very clear for everyone in this panel that whatever we are talking, everything involves Zubeen Garg, but at the same point also involves politics, because we are talking about a session that has happened in the winter session of an assembly session. So definitely this has to go around politics. And now that you have also stated about how people are waiting for a closure, the people of Assam, I'm telling you, it's been so many days now. They have not got a closure. They are every day crying at the same amount. They are feeling the pain about losing their only star. He would also rather say the moon, the only moon in the sky, and for which they are looking for a closure. But here again, what has been seen in today's assembly session and also previously in the political fights between the opposition and the people in the ruling party, we have seen that they are only now trying to politicalize whatever can be done.
Okay.
Whatever can be done is also politicalized, and also whatever not being politicalized is being used as a political tool by the opposition.
Okay.
So even now on this date when we are talking, the entire issue of Zubeen Garg is still under a lot of political war game. However, people are still expecting that on 8th, when it is submitted, the entire case study will be submitted. Then perhaps people will get a closure
Right.
about what happened. But again, it should not be entirely just to win the emotions of the people, but it should be about justice. It should be about something that has
Absolutely.
actually happened, and those people who were involved should be entirely brought under their to the law, and the entire justice should be provided.
Right, absolutely. Sharda Prasad, that's the bottom line, isn't it? Over and above all the politicking, what is important is that, how the SIT team is able to prove that murder charge, section 103 in a courtroom. How watertight a case can they build? And more importantly, and that will depend upon that charge sheet, because that will define how that final charge sheet that gets filed and how well it is made so that the charge can be proved in the courtroom.
I have full confidence with the SE. In fact, I also worked as the head of CID in Assam, and the present team is consisting of a large number of officers with whom I have worked.
Okay.
So I know they are honest, they are hardworking, and they are very sincere. So whatever they will do will be a professional output of the highest order.
Okay.
So let's wait for the team. And
do you think the
see what the
investigation
results
is progressing at the right pace at this stage?
You see, point is that there are not many angles which need to be investigated.
Okay.
Because things are broadly open. What angle was required to be investigated must have been done is the financial angle, and what all financial transactions were involved. Unfortunately, every time if there is a financial angle, it doesn't lead to murder. So I have still my own doubts. And I recall that 1977, there was a great singer, Assamese singer, Mr. Jayant Hazarika. He was my friend also, and we were neighbors also. And he had gone to Calcutta, and there he died in very mysterious circumstances. For about a month, we had almost similar scenario what today we are having with Mr. Zubeen Garg's death.
Okay.
But fortunately, we believed in West Bengal police, Calcutta police, and the matter was closed. Because it was also at same time also that he was given some poison. That's how he died. So I hope things will be cleared when the charge sheet is laid.
Right, Professor Prashajit Biswa, all eyes are on that charge sheet, but what has happened in between is how people's views towards it, their emotion towards it have been going back and forth and up and down because of you had the reports coming in from Singapore, reports coming in from the Guwahati Medical College and Hospital, and then the Forensic Science Laboratory, all of them pointing in different directions. That is the reason why the issues become that complex. People are not able to get any kind of clarity, and in the middle of it all, even before people could make up their mind, where the public sentiment is in terms of whether they are convinced that this is a murder or this is not, you have the Chief Minister of the state calling it a murder.
Yeah, that it is not a culpable homicide, but a plain and simple murder seems to be a new addition in the vocabulary of understanding justice for Zubeen Garg. I don't know how these words will be taken by the masses, because the value of art that Zubeen has created, that keeps creating that sensibility, that sense of absence that is felt at the mass level. And that keeps rolling in the form of asking for more and more investigation, more and more truth. And seemingly public is not satisfied by what has happened until today. I'm not aware of much politicking, but I can see that the public sentiment and the public mood is continually in a mood of interrogating all that is coming from the government. And unless government satisfactorily answers those questions that are raised about multiple connections involving the powerful ones, those who are not still brought under the ambit of investigation, public is questioning that. I don't want to name anybody here, but it is available in public discourse how one person is connected to the other person, how that leads to the corridor of power, how that corridor of power leads to certain officers. So that particular nexus and the web which is spinned around the whole situation, this grievous situation of his murder, is something that is still not unraveled. And therefore any shortcut, any kind of a narrowed down charge sheet is not going to answer the questions that are lurking in the larger minds of the public across Assam, across Northeast, across India, because Zubeen has touched everyone's heart. Everyone is opening their hearts out. So there is no possibility of a political cover-up. Even if it is attempted, that cover-up is going to fail. That is something is written on the wall, and I hope everyone realizes that and answers the questions that are still remaining unanswered in the minds of the public.
Right, Himanta Chakraborty, the only thing I have to ask you is that public pressure from the public is building. It's been building for a while now. It has clearly hit a peak at this stage because they want nothing less than the truth, and they want that charge sheet to be put out immediately. And in that sense, the government is under pressure. There is the time is ticking. That charge sheet needs to be filed as soon as possible.
Look, Krishna, I think what we all are ignoring, and we have been ignoring that, we are actually skipping the possibility of the connection between the Bollywood and the underworld gang. So, on that note, I'd just like to give you a small example, a little example. Like if Parveen Babi, we all know her, right? We all know her name. So, the woman who spoke and then died alone in 2005, if you remember, under UP1, she was one of the Bollywood's biggest name, and then suddenly before her death, she openly accused the Bollywood political mafia nexus, and she even named some powerful people, right? So I am asking, why was not her testimony taken seriously? Why was a whistleblower treated as mentally unstable instead of protected? So this process definitely did not come in a single day. So everything is very, I believe everything is very linked and interconnected. So we are talking about the property, we are talking about the money, we are talking about the asset, we are talking about jealousy factor might work, but we are actually avoiding and we are ignoring, not avoiding, we are ignoring. And if you just look back, then just give me 5 seconds, I'm telling you. So in 1993, if you remember, during Congress party rule, that time a 19-year-old superstar, Divya Bharati, right? My favorite actor, she used to be. I was a little girl that time, but anyway, suddenly falls from the balcony, but no suicide note, no detailed forensic reconstruction, no reopened investigation, nothing, despite massive inconsistencies, right? So my question is, why was the case was closed suddenly, casually? What is, was it kind of incompetence or someone being protected? So cover-up story has been continuing, from the very long back, but what I believe the present government, if you talk about central or Assam or the state, BJP occupied state, they have been at least trying to take the things out in front of the people, right?
Fair enough, point taken. I'm afraid we're completely out of time here with that. Mr. Shadda Prasad, former DGP of Assam and former Director, National Crime Records Bureau, Preeti Priyadarshini, Senior Journalist from Assam, Professor Prashanjit Biswa, Professor, Northeastern Hill University, and Himanta Chakraborty, Political Analyst. Thank you all of you for taking time out to be with us here on In Your Interest. And with that, it's a wrap here from my side. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar, signing off.
आओ मनाए दूध क्रांति के जनक डॉक्टर वर्गीस कुरियन का जन्म दिवस।
लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे तो अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए। IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात।
ओह नो, बहुत बोर लग रहा है।
Take a date, not bites.
No added sugar, प्रिजर्वेटिव के बिना डेट्स, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया लायन डेट्स नट बाइट्स।
Lion date, not bites. गज़ब का
भाई साहब, आपने भारत कनेक्ट का नाम सुना है?
एक और सोशल मीडिया ऐप।
सोशल मीडिया ऐप नहीं, वो 700 से ज्यादा ऐप्स पे बिल पेमेंट्स पॉसिबल बनाते हैं।
बढ़िया है।
आप हमें जानते नहीं पर मानते जरूर हैं। हम हैं भारत कनेक्ट।
आराम से
हाँ।
सामान देना भैया।
अब आगे क्या करना है? वो पिट्टू की पर्ची में देखो, कहाँ गई पर्ची?
नमस्ते
जी।
हाँ, मुझे पता है वो पर्ची में क्या लिखा होता है। आप चलिए मेरे साथ। व्हील चेयर, ये आपका और ये
हाँ।
आपका। पर्ची में शॉपिंग की बात तो जरूर लिखी होती है। थोड़ी पेट पूजा की बात कोई पर्ची में ना लिखे, ऐसा हो सकता है?
टिफिन
थैंक यू।
अरे पर्ची मिल गई।
पर्ची में तो ये सब लिखा ही नहीं था।
हम है ना आपकी पर्ची।
सिर्फ वर्ल्ड क्लास एयरपोर्ट्स नहीं चलाते हैं, आपके सफर में हम सफर बन जाते हैं। अदानी, हम करके दिखाते हैं।
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
You're with me, Shweta Kothari, on News9. Our top story: when the founder of a company that deals in cars says Delhi must cut down car usage, you know that the crisis has crossed every possible limit. Cars 24 CEO Vikram Chopra has warned that Delhi's air has become unbreathable and only strict, uncomfortable measures can now save the city. In a powerful post on social media platform X, Chopra wrote, "I run an auto tech company. My entire business depends on people using cars, and even I am saying Delhi needs far stricter rules to fix the air." His message was deeply personal. "I have a 5-year-old son and an 80-year-old parents. Their lungs cannot survive our excuses." Calling Delhi's pollution a man-made disaster fueled by public intolerance for discomfort, Chopra reminded citizens of what worked in the past and what was abandoned because it felt inconvenient. The 2020 lockdown slashed pollution by as much as 60%. Grab restrictions brought immediate improvement, but every time, he says, people mocked it, hated it, and we shut it down because inconvenience was louder than data. Chopra blamed policymakers for lacking political courage to enforce proven solutions, including congestion pricing, diesel curbs, construction site monitoring, and tough action on stubble burning. But his harshest criticism was for the society itself. He said, and I quote, "We want clean air, but not at the cost of traffic rules or personal convenience. That mindset is the real pollutant." And Chopra urged the government to act like Delhi is in a health emergency, restrict cars, curb diesel in winter, enforce construction bans, crack down on chronic polluters with urgency. His final warning was chilling. He said, and I quote, "If we don't accept inconvenience now, we'll be living inside an air purifier-shaped coffin in 10 years and pretending it's progress," unquote. India's air pollution crisis is deepening and more widespread now than many realize. A new satellite-based study shows a staggering 60% of India's districts are exceeding the national air quality safety limits for PM 2.5 pollution. Not a single district meets the World Health Organization's far stricter guidelines. The data reveals a clear north-south divide. Northern and eastern states like Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Assam suffer the highest pollution, with almost all of their districts breathing dangerously toxic air year-round. In contrast, southern and coastal states, including Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka and Telangana, generally have cleaner air but still fall short of global safe levels. Delhi stands out as the most polluted state, with annual PM 2.5 levels reaching above 101 micrograms per cubic meter. That's about 2.5 times Indian limit and 20 times the WHO guideline. This makes Delhi's residents some of the most exposed to hazardous air pollution across the country. Seasonally, winter sees the worst air quality, with about 82% of districts crossing safe limits due to colder weather and emissions. While the monsoon brings some relief by cleaning the air, pollution levels bounce back sharply due to continued emissions and activities like crop burning. The study underscores what pollution does and the fact that pollution does not respect borders, especially across the Indo-Gangetic plains and emerging northeastern hotspots like Assam and Tripura. Air quality management must therefore shift from a city-centric approach to a comprehensive district and airshed level strategy, using satellite data for better tracking and accountability as far as pollution is concerned. To turn the tide, India must extend pollution control plans beyond major cities, targeting key emission sources like industry, transport, biomass, burning simultaneously, and foster coordinated action among neighboring states as well. A chilling new United Nations report has laid bare the scale of violence faced by women and girls globally, revealing that one woman or girl is killed by a partner or a family member almost every 10 minutes. The data released by UN Women and UN Office on Drugs and Crime shows that nearly 83,000 women and girls were intentionally killed in 2024, and that 60%, which is nearly 50,000, were murdered inside their own homes by their intimate partners or relatives. UNODC's acting executive director, John Brandolino, said that the findings prove that the home remains a dangerous and sometimes lethal place for countless women and girls. The crisis cuts across continents. The highest rates of intimate partner or family femicide were recorded in Africa, followed by America, Asia and Europe. Experts say that the numbers may be even higher as many countries lack complete data, especially for femicides committed outside the home. And UN Women's Policy Division Director Sarah Hendricks also warned about the rise of digital violence, saying that the online abuse frequently escalates offline and in the worst cases contributes to lethal harm. And despite a slight numerical dip from last year's 51,100 deaths, the UN cautions that this is not a sign of improvement, but rather a result of inconsistent reporting. The report calls for urgent global action, stronger prevention strategies, and criminal justice systems that can protect women before violence becomes fatal. Moving on now, a strong message has come in from Supreme Court today. Custodial violence will not be tolerated, calling such incidents a blot on the system. A bench led by Justices Vikram Nath and Sandeep Mehta expressed deep concern over 11 custodial deaths reported in Rajasthan within 8 months. The court was hearing a suo motu case on the lack of CCTV cameras in police stations. It pulled up the centre for not filing compliance affidavits, reminding authorities that orders to install CCTV systems were first issued back in 2018 and reiterated again in 2020 for agencies like the CBI, ED and NIA. The amicus curiae informed the court that only 11 states have filed compliance reports so far. The bench praised Madhya Pradesh for their fully connecting all police stations to a centralized monitoring hub, calling it noteworthy. The Supreme Court has now given all remaining states and union territories 3 weeks to file their affidavits. If they fail, their Home Department principal secretaries will have to appear in person in the court. For central agencies that haven't complied